My name is Walter Murch. I'm a film editor and sound designer. I've been working in feature motion pictures for 6 decades, including the Godfather films and Apocalypse Now, a number of films specifically with Francis Coppola. The Valkyries was pinpointed in the screenplay by John Milius, so it was an integral part of how that scene told itself right from the conception of the whole film. Francis had decided on using the 1966 Solti Vienna Philharmonic recording. His father is a conductor and his uncle is a composer, and there's lots of music in the Coppola family. So I think there was probably a family discussion about, Dad, what recording should I use? Oh, use the Solti. I think a different piece of music or even a different recording of the Valkyries would not have brought out so much of those different contrasts and colors. Somebody in administration, I forget who it was going through a bunch of papers and realized that we had never secured the rights to use this particular piece of music. And I think we were maybe 2 months away from when the film was going to hit the theaters. And Francis approached Decca, who were the record company behind it, and their initial reaction was no. At that point, the panic intensified because if it really is no, what are we going to do? So I went to the main record store in San Francisco and bought every recording of the Valkyries that they had. So this was my first experience in listening to 18 different recordings of the same piece of music. And for all I knew, I would find one that was better than the Solti. I didn't, obviously, because there isn't anything better than the Solti. It was an exercise in like casting an actor. Here are 18 different actors who are all vying for the part. Which one of them will be able to compare with the Solti recording, which is the gold standard? And in the end, there weren't any. And it was that point that Francis actually managed to get through to Sir Solti himself. And the famous line was, "Of course, dear boy, why didn't you talk to me in the first place?" So Solti approved the use of the music, and he made the right phone call to somebody at Decca that said, "Let this happen." And it happened. The scene is beautiful and horrible at the same time, and there are elements of that in the Solti recording, musically speaking. And that's the nature of war, and it's that seductiveness of war that we felt we had to acknowledge that at some point in a film that is ultimately anti-war, but it has to touch on that kind of hormonal addictiveness of the thrill of actual battle. You can't rewind history, but even as a thought experiment, trying to imagine something else, both musically and sociologically and historically, it packs an unqualified wallop as a piece of music.